You are suing the defendant for $2,716.86 back child care expenses for your son, Marley.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say there's no need for a paternity test because you're certain he is your baby's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zuniga, you say you don't owe her a dime. Because you're not her son's father, you've petitioned the court for a lie detector test and a paternity test because not only are you not his father, but you claim to know who his real daddy is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zuniga, I need to understand your doubt.
First of all, I never really knew her.
Okay, you slept with her, right?
I met her.
Oh, no, answer my
through a
question.
mutual friend.
You
Yes.
slept with her, right?
Yes.
Did you use protection?
No.
Well, you know her now.
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
I was new to the town. Well, I found out that she never really stayed in relationships long and that she liked to jump from guy to guy.
Miss Luz, were you sleeping with other men when you were sleeping with Mr. Zuniga?
No, not one. I did sleep with a few men after him, but I was only sleeping with him when we were together.
Okay,
But that's
Mr. Zuniga,
not
do
the
you have
matter
any
at
other
hand.
children?
No, ma'am. I've always thought I was sterile.
You do.
Yes. Putting the long relationships aside and trying to have, kids with them and consulting doctors. I did a lot of sports. I've had a lot of sports-related injuries. I think that might have something to do with it. I've been in at least 3 long-term relationships where I've tried to have children with them.
And you have not had a child?
No.
So you believe your relationship with Miss Luz also could
If
not?
not-
So you don't have any doubt?
No.
You
not
haven't
at all.
slept with anybody else in your mind?
I was committed when we first started hanging out. I stayed at home with my godbrother, taking care of his kids until he got off work.
Your Honor, may I add something?
Yes, sir. What would you like to add?
While I was at work, I asked her what she used to do. And she used to tell me she was going to her brother figure house and getting her moped fixed. I mean, that thing's probably still broke right now.
Oh, so you believe she was going over to this other gentleman's house
Not
and he
only
wasn't
do
a
I
brother
believe
figure,
that-
he was really...
There's this one instance where this lady came up to me and she told me that while I was with her, she was cheating on me the whole time with her husband. And he looks just like the father. Red hair and blue eyes.
How long were you two together?
Not 2.5 weeks, maybe.
Did you say 2.5 weeks?
Yes, Your Honor. As far as I know, she could have been pregnant before I even got with her.
Why are you young people running around having unprotected sex with people you knew for 2 weeks? Okay, Miss Luz, you worrying me now. Because, no, you're a beautiful young girl, and I don't want you living up to your last name. So, Miss Luz, you brought a witness today.
Yes.
Who did you bring?
His mother.
Jerome, can you please escort Miss Vertigan into the courtroom? Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Your Honor.
Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Now, you are Mr. Zuniga's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Explain to the court how you feel about this
I
situation.
love my son. Don't get me wrong. I really honestly love my son. And I would be on my son's side, but his reasonings are crazy to me. What makes you have a baby? Sex. What did they do? Have unprotected sex. I submitted pictures earlier to the courts of how much they look alike.
First of all, Your Honor, my mom, she's always wanted me to have kids. Once I got of age, I got older and started
Oh
settling
my
down.
goodness, no, Your Honor, I didn't want him sleeping with nobody.
She told me herself that she was that age
She
to
didn't
be a
even
grandmother.
speak to me until after we found out I was
wouldn't even
pregnant
speak to
because she
her.
thought I was just a fling.
Because my son goes through women like toilet paper. I did not want to speak to her. But Your Honor, if you look at those pictures, their eyes look so much alike and they have the same features, the dark circles. My grandson was born with jaundice, Your Honor,
I
and
came
my
out-
son was born with jaundice.
I came
My
out with
son
a
has a
full head
muscle
of hair.
spasm in his eye.
Brown hair.
My grandson
brown
has a
eyes.
muscle
I look
spasm
just
in his
like
eyes.
my father. This kid looks nothing like
Yes, because my son is 50% Mexican. His dad was 100%. Does he look like my son, Your Honor?
You met with a licensed polygraph professional
Yes,
who has more than 20 years experience.
Yes.
And you took this test. You were asked if you ever had sexual relations with any other man while dating Pedro, which is Mr. Zuniga. You said no. The lie detector determined deception indicated.
That's not a shocker.
It is this court's finding that because you were with another man during the time you were also with Mr. Zuniga, we're going to order a paternity test. In the case of Luce versus Zuniga, pertaining to 1-year-old Marley Zuniga, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Zuniga, you are his father.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. My grandson, you say you're sorry. You tell him you're sorry.
But look at him.
And you tell him you're sorry. Look at him. Yes, look at him. Maybe that's yours.
But you lied.
Okay, but look at you.
Yes, I may
All right, we're
lie
getting over
compared
that.
to
We're getting
whatever
over that.
test says it. He is your son.
Say you're sorry.
But the test just proves that I was right.
All right, so what we gotta do now is we gotta figure out how to let this go. I wanna talk to you all in my chambers because I can see right now you all gonna run out of here because you're getting on my nerves, you're gonna get on Marley's nerves, and we need to talk about this. Meet me in my chambers. Court is adjourned. Miss Percy, you've petitioned the court for a paternity test. You're here to prove to Mr. Gayle and his wife that he is the father of your 26-year-old daughter, Tidra Glenn.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim that you've spent nearly $200,000 to raise your daughter and he's done nothing.
Yes, Your Honor.
And now you feel like he needs to pay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gayle, you claim you weren't there for Miss Glenn because you only found out she may be your child when she was 15 years old.
Yes, Your Honor.
And your biggest fear is that your wife will leave you if you're proven to be the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Percy.
Yes.
Why do you think Mr. Gayle is denying your daughter?
Because of his wife. I don't know why she won't let this man be a man and be with
Your Honor.
his children.
Your
He
Honor.
needs to spend time
My
with
wife
his
has
children.
never stopped me from seeing any of my kids.
Mr. Gayle, that is so not true. Every time my daughter calls him, it's like, oh, I can't talk to you right now. Tanya's sitting right here.
Right, because I don't
mean,
want
but
to.
that's
I don't want to disrespect my
this-
wife.
How
if
would
I
you
knew that was my
disrespect your
daughter,
wife?
I could
This is
talk
your
to
daughter.
her. If that I knew that was my daughter.
It's your
I
daughter.
could talk to her wherever
It's your daughter.
I please.
Mr. Gayle, tell me, were you all in a committed relationship?
It was committed. We was 7 years.
Wasn't no 7 years.
You were
How
together
long
for
was it
six-
then?
Like 4 or 5 years.
No, it
When
wasn't.
I got with her, she was 16. I was 21.
Okay.
And then when I was 26, I was with my wife.
When did you get married? What was the date that you
I got
and Miss Gayle got married?
February the 23rd, 2002.
Really?
Miss Tidra
I
Glenn,
planned.
when is your birthday?
October 9th, 1988.
Mr. Gayle, you got married in February of 2002. How long were you together before that?
15 years.
Hello.
Oh, so if you were together 15 years, that would put you way before, you were together with your wife way before.
Right, we broke up
Miss
a
Glenn
long
was-
time
But
ago.
we was still sleeping together.
We slept together
We
one
was sleeping
time.
together the whole time you was with Tanya.
No, we wasn't. We
Yes,
slept
we
together one
was.
time, Your Honor.
He's still trying to sleep with.
What?
Whoa! Woo!
If you really
That ain't
felt
what you
he
said.
was the father, why wasn't he the first man tested?
Because I didn't want to be bothered with him.
So why you want to be bothered with me now?
So what,
I don't.
Honestly,
I
Your
don't.
Honor.
It's you. Y'all doing this. I'm not doing this.
Right here.
May I say
yes,
something,
yes,
please?
yes, absolutely, Miss
Okay,
Glenn.
when I was 19
I didn't even
years
want to be
old,
here.
I asked my brother for Mr. Gayle's number. When I asked my brother for Mr. Gayle's number, I called Mr. Gayle, and I initiated a paternity test. I said, you know, I've been hearing all my life that you've been my dad, and I look just like you. Me and my brother just look just alike, and you know, I've been hearing all these rumors. But it's like at that time, I felt like I was old enough to find out for myself. So when I called Mr. Gayle, he was like, well, I understand that you want to find out who your dad is, but you're gonna have to pay for the paternity test.
Oh my God.
I would have
Again,
been,
Your Honor.
I would have been fine with that.
When I asked her, I said, tell your mother, see if your mother can go half of me on a paternity test.
That
Her
was
mother
after the
never
fact.
got back to me, never said anything.
That was after the fact. That was just recently.
No.
That was just recently this
No,
past year when
no.
you was like, oh, you need to find out
No.
where you really come from. Like as if I'm a charity case. It's about me knowing if this man is my daddy.
Yep,
We've
that's it.
been talking for this past year, and when I say when we be on the phone, it's all laughs and giggles, and we talk like this was meant to happen. It's come a time to where every time I get on the phone, she's like, oh, you're on the phone with your little friend. Like as if I'm nothing. I'm somebody. I may not have had a father, but I'm somebody. I don't have no problem with her. She's laughing and giggling like it's a joke. And it's not a joke. Your kids grew up with their fathers. I did it.
She did it.
I did it.
They met her mama.
I'm about to sit here and act like it's my mama's fault. Because at the end of the day, whether I was 15, whether I was 2, whether I was 2 months, you should have been a woman and said, this girl don't need to grow up without a father.
You do, in fact, believe there's a possibility that Miss Glenn
great
could be
possibility,
your
'cause he was
husband's
there.
child. When you look at her, do you see a resemblance?
Could you show her the
She's
picture?
She know,
She trying to be
I don't
funny.
know.
I have
could you
evidence.
show
I
her?
can't.
What evidence
she
do
looks
you
like
have,
her
Miss
mother
Glenn?
to me.
Jerome, will you hand me Miss Glenn's evidence, please?
She looks
said,
like her
"Let me see."
mother to me, but that doesn't mean that's not her father.
The first piece of evidence is a picture of you,
Me and Mr. Gayle.
and that's Mr. Gayle,
Yep.
as children.
Yep.
And you say there is a definite resemblance.
Yep. My nose, my lips, the way my mouth is, my teeth, my eyebrows, my
teeth,
eyes,
you see 'em.
the way I everything. The
And
way my
then now,
face
this
shaped,
is a
my
more
chin.
recent photo of you now,
Yep.
and you still feel like you see a resemblance.
Yep.
Mr.
And I
Gayle,
sent
do
him
you
that
see
same
a
picture.
resemblance?
All I can see is the DNA test.
In the case of Percy Glenn versus Gayle, when it comes to 26-year-old Tidra Glenn, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Gayle, you are not her father.
Hear me, boo. Holler at your girl. Let's roll.
What you talking?
No problem.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
yeah. You glad?
Yes, I am.
dumb.
I've always been glad.
You ain't
That's why
always
you
been
never
glad.
knew it.
You thought you was gonna have
Mr.
me back up.
Gayle,
please.
Mr. Gayle and Miss Percy, I can't hear any more of this.
Why though?
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
He don't care. He doesn't care.
I want to go hug her, you know, and tell her it's gonna be all right. I hate to hear her crying like that, you know.
So do I. Ms. Carmon, you open your case today in hopes of saving your 18-year marriage. You testify your husband denies he fathered your 4-year-old daughter, Ronasia, but you plan on proving paternity today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Carmon, you say when the DNA results reveal that you are not Ronasia's father, your marriage is over. You claim to have bombshell evidence that proves another man is the daddy. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So, Mrs. Carmon, what is at stake today?
Your Honor, 18 years of marriage, 27 we have been together. Today, our life is really dependent on what's gonna happen today.
Wow.
He went and rented an apartment,
Yeah, I went and got my own. While we
turned
gonna
it
sleep in the
into
street.
a boom boom room. I had to pay somebody $100 to go into the home to see what was going on, and it was party central.
And so a boom boom room is what? A party house?
It's a party house
with women?
with women
And everything else?
and everything else.
Jerome, you been to a boom boom room?
That's why they call me Jerome Boom Boom Hamilton.
I learn new things every day in this courtroom. So, Mr. Carmon, you got yourself a boom boom room during the separation?
That is correct.
That is correct? You can enter that into evidence right now.
And I'm not finna sleep. My stuff get thrown out when I'm sleep in the front yard with my stuff.
Okay,
I want to get near the roof. Throw all my stuff out on the front yard one ago. I went and got my own place.
So you said she threw you out, so you went and got your own place.
I came home, she called me talking about, I'm around the corner park talking to my partner. She called, you know what? Tasmanian devil. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute, what you talking about? So I come back to the house, yard sale.
Oh.
What the?
So you put his stuff out and you had a yard sale, Miss Carmon?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, so you sold his stuff and you put him out.
Yeah, so
you had to get your stuff and go get a place to live. Okay, I do want to understand this part where you decided, how did you even get an inkling that it could be a boom boom room and pay the person $100 to go in there and infiltrate?
Because his
family member?
Yes, came and picked me up and told me, she said, you must know what's going on over there. So we were staking out. We were actually staking out for a while before we came to the conclusion that I needed to send somebody up in there.
And so you would see the people coming in and out?
Yes.
So you decided, I'm gonna pay somebody $100?
I did.
And you did?
I did.
And they went in there and came back and reported to you?
He showed me a videotape. I gave him the $100 bill. He showed me a videotape with him with all kind of women kissing on him, sitting all on his lap, doing all kinds of stuff.
Uh-oh.
So then I decided, I gotta go do me. I'm not supposed to sit around, even though, and I can't believe we had been married so long, we should have been able to work through this. But I wasn't about to sit around. I went and did me. I went and found somebody and I had to go and do me.
So you got yourself your own boom boom room?
I got myself my own boom boom room, and then he found out about it.
Hold on, you skipped the part. So during this time when you got yourself your own boom boom room, how many guys were you dating?
Oh, just one, Your Honor.
Just one man?
Oh, yes.
I want to understand this. After Ronasia's 3 years old, you get text messages. They start off, and at some point, you get a message that says, thanks for being a stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
But then lastly, they ask for a DNA test. Why would they specifically ask for a DNA test if there was no question of paternity? Why?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Your Honor. He mentioned a family member. He never mentioned the man. So the family member, they wanted me to be with him. But the man never got at him or harassed him about anything.
He never said he did.
But listen, for them to send a text to your husband talking about Ronasia after she's 3 years old, it seems to me that for 3 years, somehow this man and this family have been thinking and deliberating and trying to figure out, is this baby his?
This was summer 2011. It's supposed to be over with. The girl was 3 going on 4, but this 2000, it's 6 years later, they asking for a paternity test. Why?
Oh.
Yeah.
Miss Carmon?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's saying that the window of conception does not match up to the separation. It matches up to a period of time when you are back in the home, supposedly working on the marriage. Were you still having sexual relationship with this other man after you all decided to work on your marriage?
No.
Were you in contact with this man?
Yes.
You were?
Yes. He was sending me messages through social media. I had to block him.
But now his family members now say they want a DNA test. It doesn't add up. Are you sure that you still didn't have any dealings with this man after you reconciled with your husband?
I did not have no contact with him besides him contacting me on social media.
Did you ever tell this other man he could be the biological father?
Absolutely not. I hadn't messed with that man since 2011. Once I cut it off, it was off. The only contact we had was him contacting me on social media. There was no relationship or nothing going on. There's no way in the world he cannot be her father.
Miss Carmon, are you all right? You're shaking. Before I read this result, is there anything you need to say to your husband?
No.
In the case of Carmon versus Carmon, when it comes to 4-year-old Ronasia Carmon, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Carmon, you are are the father. Oh, Jesus. Oh, hold on. Oh, Lord.
I told you.
Okay, get up. Come on, get up. Come on, get up.
Are you all right, Miss Carmon?
It's your daughter.
And I'm glad. Now I can continue being the father I've been being. Father of the year, I got a trophy this tall from last year.
Well, you deserve a trophy even taller for this year.
Thank you.
You all been through a lot. Miss Carmon, there was something in my heart as I read that result that says to me that there's something you haven't told your husband yet because you were worried. And when I read that result, you were relieved.